Hello, welcome to Geeking Out with Shed. I haven't done an update on my Ioniq 5 in forever. I haven't even posted a video in forever. I apologize for that, but I've just been really busy. And honestly, my mom died about a year ago, and I just really haven't had the motivation to do much else but work on my other channel, Shad Life. But let's talk about my car. I'll give you an update about it, but I'm gonna go inside because it's kind of chilly out. But yeah, let's do. Okay, here I am sitting in my car. It is almost the end of 2024, so I figured it's time to give you an update on this car. So I am just over 20,000. I'm almost at 21,000 miles. I think 20,800 and something. We'll see in a moment here once I turn it on. But this car has been flawless. There hasn't been any issues with it, and even with the recalls that have been happening, the recalls have mostly been the ICCU not properly charging the 12-volt battery, and I have had to take my car in and had those recalls taken care of, but I've just done it on its regular maintenance schedule to have the tires rotated and stuff like that. So I have yet to have the 12-volt battery not charge and go bad on me, which is a good thing. I probably will replace it. It's been about a year and a half since I've owned the car, and word on the street is the manufacturer battery is kind of meh, and so I might replace it with something better, more reliable. But we'll see what happens, especially now that we are going into January when it gets really cold in Minnesota here. So this is partway through my second winter with this car. As much as you can go out there on the social medias or internets, or even seen in the actual media, how much they say electric cars don't work in the cold, that is absolutely 100% false. There was a story last year that kind of triggered this thing, and it was when all these rideshare drivers tried to go, and they had Teslas, and I don't know if they were leasing them or what the story was, but they were all trying to go to the same set of Tesla chargers when it was really cold. They had a cold snap, and it happened in two cities, Chicago and New York, if I remember right. And they were all trying to go there at once. They didn't understand how to precondition the battery. They were waiting, and without preconditioning the battery, the cars charge slower and so on. And because of that kind of mad rush to the chargers, there were some cars that were waiting, and of course it's cold out, so you're going to want to leave your car running and have the heat on, right? And they were waiting for hours to get to the charger, and their battery went dead because they were probably already low by the time they arrived there, right? So that isn't a problem with EVs in the cold. That's a problem with the charging infrastructure, or people not understanding how their EVs work and not preconditioning the batteries and so on and so forth. There's a whole lot, but really it's only happened that one time. Like I think people learn their lesson. Oops, oh yeah, maybe not everybody go at once or something, right? So I live in Minnesota. It gets really cold here. Actually, it gets colder here than generally New York and Chicago. Chicago and Minneapolis, pretty close to the same climate, but it does get a little bit colder here in the wintertime. And I have yet to have a problem either charging this car in the cold or starting it in the cold. It's never had a problem. And the convenient thing about it is it always just starts. Like, it just starts right up, and I just start it up, turn on the steering wheel heater, the seat heater, and just start driving right away. There's no doesn't need to warm up and get the engine idling properly or any of that stuff. And within 30 seconds, heat starts pouring out of the vents. So it's actually an awesome cold weather car, right? So I'm very impressed with this car. I do talk quite a bit about this. It really, at least the state of the infrastructure today, it really helps if you own a home or have a place where you live where you can charge on level 2, like overnight or something like that. I know more apartment complexes are charging, offering chargers and things like that. I know people that have condos can have chargers installed in the garage and they can charge their cars and so on and so forth. So that's a huge help if you live in a big city and you can charge at home, or even if you don't live in a big city and you live out in the country but you have a charger at home, there's a pretty big radius of distance you can go before you run out of battery. And that's only going to improve with time. So yeah. So back to this particular car. I really like it. It's the all-wheel drive model or dual motor, so it's quick, it's fun to drive. 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. Pretty much smokes everything out on the road except for some other crazy high performance vehicle or other EVs, right? But yeah, it's nice to be able to just have that instant power and just go. I love that aspect of it. And let's turn it on, and we'll see some of the details here. It does take a little bit of a range hit in the cold, but not anything that I can't manage. And so we're just letting everything start up. So I have, 20,863 miles. I'm at 92% capacity, 209 miles left of range. That's about right? I'm currently getting 3.0 miles per kilowatt hour right now. That's pretty good. That's kind of mixed driving, city and highway, and running the heat. So not bad. I did just inflate the tire, so I have it in the tire inflating mode. But yeah, it's all pretty good. And you can see 37 degrees outside right now. It'll get colder here in a few days where it's running around 0 or below 0 a little bit. And so not bad. All the typical stuff, and it's gotten some updates over the time, but nothing major. I'd say the thing that they've been updating more than anything is the navigation and stuff and how that works. And it does have heated steering wheel, heated seats. And then I can hit climate. There are climate controls. I do like that as I'm driving, I can just push and hit the climate controls on, or I can go over here, activate voice mode, and then you tell it what settings I want it at or what temperature I want it at. Verbally, I'm old school, I like to just push the buttons. I don't like to go onto the screen. This is one reason why I don't really like Teslas, is everything is on the screen. I do like some of the push button options, and for the newer models, they've updated some of these controls to make a little bit more sense, because it seems weird that they have map and nav, right? So they have updated some of this stuff, but overall it's not too bad. And then you have more fine heat controls and stuff there, and all I have to do is hit the climate button to get that screen to come up. So yeah, just really liking the car so far. I've gone on 3 road trips with it, longer road trips, 2 to Bentonville, which is down in Arkansas. It's about 650-ish miles from here, and then 1 to St. Louis and back. If there was anything I would wish for with this car, just anything at all, would be just a little bit more range. I feel like if I had even just 30 or 40 more miles of range than what I get, it would just make this car worlds easier for doing any kind of road trips and things like that. In town, it's fine, plenty of range, never an issue. But going on road trips, if I just had a little bit more, and the reason why I say that is on the highway, it doesn't get as much range as it does driving around in the city. So I'd say on the highway, I get somewhere between 200 and 220 miles of range if I'm going, 70 to 75 miles per hour, right? And that's in the summer. In the winter time, it's actually not bad. It only gets bumped down a little bit, and the reason why is because once the car warms up, it doesn't need to keep working so hard. It's that initial warm-up that kind of takes out a chunk of battery, but then after that it can maintain its temperatures, and then it does okay. So it gets about 180 or so to 200 in the wintertime on a road trip, right? Consistent driving. So not terrible, but I just feel like sometimes the charging stations are spaced as such where, I'd really like to be able to just charge up to 80%, because that happens super fast. Like my car goes up to 80% in just like, 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on the starting charge, 20 at the most. And then from 80 to 100, it goes much slower, so it takes a lot longer. So if it had a little bit bigger battery, then I could make those jumps and get somewhere. And I learned this last summer coming back from Bentonville. I did that. I charged up to 80. It was summertime. It was getting decent range, and I just charged up to 80, jumped back in, took off, went to the next stop. A couple hours later, charged at 80% again, went to the bathroom, grabbed some snacks, came out. It was already almost fully charged, jumped in, and I ended up shaving an hour off of my trip. So not bad. I just feel like, on the highway, because, you have more wind drag, a little bit bigger battery would be nice. And actually the new models, I think it's the 2025, do have slightly bigger battery. Maybe not big enough to accomplish the range I would like, but pretty good. So ideally, and I think in a couple of years we'll start seeing it pretty common, I would say a highway range of 300 miles is ideal. Like, you don't really need a lot more than that, because it's kind of nice to stop. As long as your car charges fast enough, you can go 300 miles. If you can go more than that, great. I know like the Lucids will go forever. The new Silverado will go forever, right? But yeah, if I could get 300 miles of highway range, I could do the 80% thing, get down to Bentonville in like three stops, right? Which is perfect for me, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But aside from that one bit, I absolutely love this car. Like, it is a game changer. I am all about EVs. It's a better driving experience. Like, everything about this car is better than an ICE vehicle by large amounts, with the only exception of if you're trying to white knuckle it on a road trip and get there as fast as possible. Right now there's plenty of chargers, that isn't an issue anymore, but it's those people that are just in such a hurry, they don't want to stop, right? And when they do stop, they want to just pump gas, jump back in their car and go again, with the exception of that one thing which I don't really care for. I like to be a bit more chill when I go on a road trip. This car is far better than any ICE vehicle I've ever owned, and I absolutely love it. So there's your update. I think the most impressive thing about this car is I've had zero issues with it, with the exception of those recalls, which I haven't gotten stranded anywhere. I know some people have, but I don't think it's super common, but it's enough for them to do a recall. So all right, there you have it. I'll try to do some more updates on this car. I appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe.